Okay, everybody, just, this is the same shit that you see every video. Okay, with that said, I feel it must be said that... Okay, everybody, GCurse here, with the next Unsolved Mysteries commentary. These are my thoughts. You don't like it? Sorry, you can stop the video. Today I will be doing the case of Judge John Fairbanks. He defrauded millions of dollars from his clients. As always, I apologize for the sorry shit quality of this video. Can't help it. Recorded a long time ago, so let's get started, shall we?
Population 7,000, reflexive values in America.
Okay, right then. When have you, in the last 10 years, can you really say that you've ever been to a city that only had 7,000 people? Holy shit, this shit was a long time ago.
Was built upon. A small town where successive generations are born and grow old, where everyone knows everyone else, where relationships are founded on honesty and trust.
Honesty and trust. When the fuck has that, I'll be honest, I wish I could live in a town like that. It's rare to find towns where everything is still honor and trust. Nowadays, you can't trust shit. I know it's cynical of me to say that, but it's true.
But on a quiet morning in May of 1989, a crack appeared in that foundation. Judge John Fairbanks, a lifelong resident, asked his court clerk to find a replacement for him and left town. At the time, no one imagined that Newport would never be the same again.
Okay, I normally don't trust a lot of people. Shit's happened to me growing up and into my adult life. Shit has happened, so I don't trust anybody. With the exception of a few, like one thing I trust is fucking like judges. The reason being because most judges are supposed to be honorable. Hell, it's in the title, honorable so-and-so, honorable this, honorable that. It really pissed me off when I first saw this case because of the fact that you have somebody who was a judge. His job was to punish the guilty, punish the wrongdoing, the wrongdoers. And it turns out that this guy was worse than some of the people that he would punish. That pissed me the fuck off.
Judge John C. Fairbanks was a respected jurist, a successful attorney whose family had lived in the Newport, New Hampshire area for 3 generations.
Now, that's also what pisses me off. He had so many people trusting him, and he abused that trust. He destroyed that trust for the almighty dollar. That's I can only imagine what some of those people are feeling. A lot of them are dead now, but their descendants are probably still dealing with the shit that this asshole did.
On June 6, 1989, residents were astonished by the news that Fairbanks had resigned his judgeship and abandoned his law practice. A few days later, their shock turned to outrage. This pillar of the community was apparently the worst kind of thief. A man who's stolen more than $10 million from his friends and neighbors.
You understand that you have a right to present evidence in your behalf?
For 33 years, Judge Fairbanks presided over the District Court of Newport.
Thank you. I'll get to that later.
Because Newport is a small community, Fairbanks' court duties were limited, and he was able to maintain a lucrative law practice, specializing in probate law.
Now, he was a judge for 33 years and all that shit. I would really love to know, I would love to go to Newport now and see if anybody remembers him and if they do, what their opinions of this guy is. Because you got to think that the opinions of him are not that well.
John was a nice guy. Everybody in the community liked him. Nobody had a bad word for him. He just loved his family. Loved his children, his grandchildren. Just a great guy.
Fairbanks was honest. I mean, that was his reputation. You might knock him for other things, but the one thing everybody always said about John Fairbanks was he was honest.
And that's what pisses me off. There are hard-working, honest people that can't get anywhere in life because shit constantly bowls them over. And then you have a person here who is like, he's a con artist. He's an actor. He acted with honor. He didn't have honor. He didn't have. They respected him. He didn't have respect for anyone. Piece of shit, if you ask me.
So these people had complete faith and trust and confidence in him.
When a client died, Judge Fairbanks would visit his widow, not just to offer condolences, but to relieve her of her financial worries.
Now, me being the cynical fuck that I am, if I don't have much in the line of family left, I only have, a couple family members left. Even if this was back then, hell, even in the 90s, because this actually happened like in 87, as you'll see later on. If some judge came to me and goes, "Hey, GCurse, I would like to help you alleviate all your burdens and the problems that the death of your beloved family member has caused," I would look at that person and go, "What the fuck is in it for you?" I'm smelling a big pile of shit. And it ain't for me, buddy.
Good morning.
Hello, Jean. Nice of you to see me.
Well, my husband grew up with Judge Fairbanks here in town. The families were very friendly. And through the years, anything pertaining to law, he would go to Judge Fairbanks.
John Fairbanks was settling my uncle's estate. And then, of course, I had the estate and I had income tax to do. And I knew him, so I went back to him for the income taxes. And I went to him every year for doing my income tax.
Patricia Sawyer had been coming to the judge for advice since 1958. In August of 1987, she agreed to turn over her stock certificates to Fairbanks so he could inventory her holdings.
That right there, I would have, if that was my... I'm not holding against this lady. She's elderly. She trusted in the wrong person. But me being the asshole that I am, my mom goes to me and she goes, "Jeff, I think I want the judge to, Judge so-and-so to look over my estate and, and take inventory." I look at her and go, "Mom, I love you, but I think you're fucking nuts. Why the hell would you want some guy you don't even really know to look at our finances?" I'm not the smartest motherfucker in the room, but I know I can do that kind of shit. And then I would tell Mom, I'd say, "Mom, I love you, but no. This motherfucker's not getting near our money."
He called me on the phone and asked about could I get the stocks that day.
I'll take that, Patricia.
The fact that it sounds like he was eager to do this. He's like, "Hey, can I get a hold of your money?" I'd be like, "Motherfucker, why you want my money? You're a fucking judge. You make probably 10 times more than I do. Why the fuck do you want my money?" I know you're going to say your argument's going to be, "GCurse, this was back, in the 80s. People were trusted." Oh, fuck that shit. The con man has been around since the beginning of time. It's just that this motherfucker, he found a good disguise to wear. and he bled this poor town for all the motherfucking money that he could. I'm sorry. I know I sound like an asshole, and I admit I'm an asshole, but I'm an honest asshole. Who would you rather have? An asshole that would stab you in the back, or the asshole that would look at you in the face and say, "Yeah, I'm an asshole. My opinions are right out here. I'm not going to say shit behind your back. I'm going to tell it right to your face." This guy, I'm glad to know what happened to him, and you'll find out at the end of this video.
Judge Fairbanks and I had talked about doing an estate plan and changing my will. So many people had died.
If you just lay all that out on my desk.
When we got to Judge Fairbanks' office, he said he would inventory them, and he would let me know how much they were worth, and we would get together and make the will.
Now, let's see what we have here.
Oh, I can imagine this guy. Oh, let's see what we got here. He's rubbing his hands, and he's I'm gonna rob this poor motherfucker of all her money, and she's not even gonna know it because I'm gonna go to Canada and get high off a blow and fuck hookers. Yeah, that's probably what he's thinking, and I'll explain that whole Canada shit in a little bit.
Is this everything, Patricia?
This is everything.
You're sure?
Why the fuck would she lie to you? She trusts you, you con-arting motherfucker, you. This is all, are you sure? No, this poor lady's gonna hide shit when she wants you to inventory everything. Apparently the poor lady doesn't understand math because she gave this guy everything. Are you sure it's everything? No, she has a fucking pyramid of the shit underneath her bed.
Yes.
Your uncle didn't have any deposits in any other banks?
No. But he never got back to me, and I prodded John a few times, but he was awful busy, and he hadn't got to it.
And that is when, if that was my mama, I wouldn't just take "I'm busy" as an answer. I would go to that motherfucker's office, I'd kick his door in, and I'd say, "Motherfucker, where's my goddamn money?" And then after he composes himself after pissing in his little chair, I would strangle that motherfucker until he actually sang like a bird and said, "Okay, the money's in the offshore account somewhere." No mercy for con artists.
And then we'll be able to plan the estate. Patricia, you don't have any idea how much this is worth.
I have no idea.
All right.
October 12th, 1987, Black Monday on Wall Street. The repercussions were felt worldwide, even in Judge Fairbanks' courtroom.
How fast were you going?
60.
How do you know you were going 60?
Well, I almost never go.
We'll take a brief recess.
Oh shit, the fuzz is on me. They're figuring out I'm a con artist. Gotta get the hell out of town.
All rise, please. The stock market crash I remember very, very well. It was the judge's 65th birthday. He made a couple comments about turning 65 is just wonderful. The stock market crashes on your 65th birthday. The secret of a stock market crash is not to panic.
Well, of course he's not going to panic. It's not his money. I'm pretty sure because he probably did have some of the money that he stole from those poor people in the stock market. But I'd make you a bet that if it was his actual money, the money that he worked hard for, work is a subjective term when it comes to this con artist. If it was his legitimate money, he would be fucking pissed and freaking out. But because it's not his money, it's not, hell, he can just claim that, it's the people's money, He can, oh, not my money, I don't care. No problem with me. Next.
Hello, Ed. What's the problem?
He said if he panicked, that he would lose over $3 million in the crash, but that he wasn't going to panic. He made it through court real quick and left the building, but I was real concerned about him. His mannerisms were different. He was very, very withdrawn that day.
John, when am I going to be getting some dividends?
Oh, you'll be getting it.
Within a month, the effects of the crash had trickled down to Patricia Sawyer.
I asked him why.
Oh, it's that trickle-down economics I hear so much about nowadays. Trickle-down.
I wasn't getting dividend checks, and he said that due to the stock market crash, my stocks had gone down, and he was turning the dividends back in to bring the stocks up to where they were before the crash, before the drop in the stock market. And I believe that.
Poor lady. I do feel for her because she trusted the wrong person. But, you know, I guess hindsight's 20/20 when you know the truth. But still, it just pisses me the fuck off. This guy, he's a liar. He fucking lied, and he didn't give a damn. You know, he would have bled those people dry till they were willow husk if he thought he could profit from it. Next.
I called Fairbanks in the spring of '88 because I had not been receiving accountings, and it was at that time that he told me that he had been spending my brother's principal.
John Tweedy had engaged Fairbanks as legal guardian for his brother Richard after their mother died. Richard Tweedy is a schizophrenic who has been institutionalized in a New Hampshire hospital for more than 40 years. In November of 1988, John Tweedy insisted that Fairbanks meet him face-to-face to discuss concerns about his brother's holdings.
John, how are you?
How are you, John? Good
Well,
to see
like
you.
you wanted, I brought the account.
Well, very good. I'm glad you did. I had certain questions to ask him about the estate. I mean, there was rhetoric in his response, but he didn't answer the questions.
Don't worry about that, John. Here,
If he told me not to worry about that, I'd say, motherfucker, this is my family's livelihood. You're damn well I'm going to worry about it. And then I'd keep pressing him until he popped. Because the thing about these con artists is they like to... They like to... Let's see, how can I say it? They like to try to get you to believe them within the first few minutes. It's those long-term questions that you keep asking, you keep prodding. That's when it really gets to them, and it's a lie. It's like a game of chess. He needs to capture the queen as quickly as possible, because if it goes on for a long period, he doesn't have the endurance. And these poor people, I'm sure if they were able to just keep questioning him, for a couple hours, he would have popped, I'm sure. Because it's clear that he didn't have the endurance right here. He was willing to show them just any shit to shut them up, because he knew that he didn't have a leg to stand on, and he was scared to death about the truth coming out.
I want you to take a look at this.
I will, but maybe you can answer something else. When did my brother's estate go into the red?
Well, John, I haven't got all those figures up here in my head, but you come back to my office later in the week, and I'll lay it all out for you.
It was at that time I found.
That's when I would have said, no. I'm not going to go to your office later this week. You're going to cancel any fucking appointments you have right now. And we're going to go to your office. And if I don't like the shit I'm seeing, I will call the cops and have your ass put in jail. But like I said, different time. People are different. I'm pretty sure that this kind of con artist would, if Fairbanks was alive right now, he would not be able to do the shit in the world the way that this world is now. People would see right through him because of everything, the way that this world's fucked.
About that 75% of my brother's money was gone. Why didn't you inform me when his estate went into the red?
Well, John, I tried to, but you're a hard man to find.
What? No fucking letters? It's 1987, motherfucker. I know they had answering machines. You couldn't leave a fucking a call on an answering machine? No letter, no nothing? Oh, this motherfucker, he is so corrupt.
Now, look, I've got another appointment. You come in later in the week, and we'll take care of everything. See you later, John.
Okay, John. Take care. If my brother's estate was in the red, and he knew my brother's equity in the real estate, if he was going to really take care of my brother's affairs, he would have notified me at that time and said, we have to sell some land. But he didn't. Why didn't he? Well, of course, I was to find out why he didn't.
John Tweedy refused to accept the judge's explanations about his brother's estate and began his own investigation.
I found that he had sold stock, and he had underreported what he'd gotten for the stock. He had underreported what he'd gotten for dividends. And after a couple of weeks of this, I came up with $20,000 that was missing. It turned out that was only a part of what was missing, but that was all I could determine from public records. And it was at that point I realized that, he was embezzling. And I've been raised to believe that when you see a crime committed, you call the cops. And so I called the cops.
This guy was smart. The only problem is that it was too late. I give this guy all the credit in the world. I'm pretty sure that considering how investigative he was back in the 80s, if that happened right now and the way that technology is, he would have probably been able to discover everything, and Fairbanks would have probably been in jail quickly.
We drove over to look at Fairbanks' house here in Newport. And we saw the house, and we thought, gee, that's got to be $500,000. We were aware that he had a home in Agunquit, Maine, which is a pretty expensive area to live, right on the ocean. It was worth $600,000 or $700,000. And we looked at each other and said, this guy's a thief.
Judge Fairbanks' house of cards was tumbling down. On June 6, 1989, he resigned from the bench and retreated to his summer home in Maine. When John Tweedy's charges were made public, other disgruntled clients began to come forward with their suspicions.
I had no idea that he was doing anything underhandedly until all this came out that morning. Judge Fairbanks said,
Uh-oh, what happened? Oh yeah, I think that there was times that I think that the video crashed. Let's see here, come on.
He put these stocks into this stock brokerage firm as my agent, and I had never signed any papers giving him any authority. I had never signed my name on the certificates. He had done that illegally.
Fairbanks had, in my opinion, had been doing this for so long that he had sort of milked dry most of the accounts that he had been stealing from. And along came Patricia Sawyer, who had almost $1 million in assets that he got in his hands. And it was like a gold mine, and he pounced on it.
Authorities now suspect that over a 20-year period, Fairbanks may have stolen more than $10 million. As the investigation reached its climax,
$10 million. In my lifetime, I would be happy to just get like a tenth of that. Working my ass off, I know I'm never even going to get near that kind of money. And this motherfucker, it's like nothing was enough for him. He could have stopped with $1 million or $1 million, but no, he had $2 million, $3 million. Hell, why not? Let's go for $10 million. Greedy ass motherfucker.
Judge Fairbanks spoke with Tom Hannigan from his home in Maine.
I told him that all I wanted to do was to have him produce documents which would show that his accounting was true and correct.
Look, let's keep this as quiet as possible. I don't want this to become a big thing.
We agreed to a meeting. Okay. And then he called me maybe a week before the meeting and said that he had to postpone it. And I said, okay, and we set another date. And then when the next date came up, I came over to Newport, New Hampshire to interview Fairbanks, and he wasn't there.
But really, is anybody... Well, back then, I know. I keep thinking in the now. I really gotta, think about back then. But anybody who's watching this, does this really shock anyone that this motherfucker would flee? He knows that town would have hung him if all this shit really, came out at a quicker pace. He would have been hanging on one of those trees.
Finally, on December 28, 1989, the judge was indicted on 4 counts of theft. The indictments listed more than 100 checks written by Fairbanks, which transferred money from client accounts to Fairbanks' personal accounts. The next day, Fairbanks' pickup truck was found abandoned near his house in Maine. The judge had disappeared and has not been seen since.
This has affected my life to the fact that I wonder what I'm going to do, and I'm going to have to sell land, maybe sell the farm. And the farm has been in my family since the original settlers came from Massachusetts at the Rocksteins.
Well, I was in total shock. I still don't think I've come out of it. I just can't believe that anyone could do such a thing.
He had a double life. He had two totally separated lives. And
Okay, so from these three people that we just saw, he stole 1.1 million. I think it's 1.1. It's $1,100,000 just from these three poor people alone. Excuse me.
One of them was fine. You know, one of them was a man of great integrity, respected by the community, and the other, the other one was, well, classical. You know, he was into all sorts of things which are very shaky, very shady, and quite immoral. And very few, if anybody, knew the two existed.
John C. Fairbanks is 67 years old, stands between 5 feet 8 and 5 feet 10 inches tall, and weighs approximately 170 pounds. Authorities believe he is living off of $250,000 in client money, which is still unaccounted for. If you have any information on the whereabouts of John Fairbanks, please contact the FBI, the New Hampshire State Police, or call our toll-free number, 1-800-876-5353.
Okay, that is it for that case. Now, here's the Unsolved Mysteries wiki. I had this loaded up so you can see. As you can see, he had no known aliases. Well, of course, nobody would have thought that a judge, somebody who's supposed to be honorable, would have done something like this. So, of course, he didn't have any known aliases. He was wanted for fraud and embezzlement. He was missing since 1989, but you got to keep in mind that this shit was going on since at least 1987, as you can see here. But you already know the case, so let's go straight to the results. Solved. In March of 1994, after over 4 years on the run, Fairbanks' body was discovered lying dead in a Las Vegas hotel as a result of suicide by asphyxiation. But no trace of the stolen money has ever been found. Of course, he wasted it all. It's Las Vegas. Anyway. It's believed that he committed suicide because he noticed one of the investigators from his case at the hotel's casino. So apparently somebody was on his trail. He just, and he got cowardly. Fairbanks had been hiding out in luxurious condo complexes in and around Quebec City from 91 to 94. That's why I was talking about, doing cocaine and hookers and all that shit. In Canada, under the assumed name Richard Mansfield. Now, the thing is, with him being a judge, it's probably not that hard for him to change, names. So I'm not shocked that he had an alias. It's not that hard for a judge. He was telling people that he was a retired history professor who had taught in Ottawa and Boston. Police doubt that they will ever find the money that he stole. Yeah, that shit's gone. They believe that Fairbanks spent all his clients' money before he took his life. Yeah, like I said, he spent the money, and then, once the jig was up, no other way. He's not gonna have the balls to go and turn himself in. Fuck no. He's a coward. These type of people are cowards. They operate behind people's backs and in the shadows. But anyway, so that is the case of Judge John Fairbanks. I'm just looking here. Let's see here. Scandalous judge's legacy won't die. I'm just curious, what is that? Let's see here. Scrubbed, no one balked. What the fuck is this? Okay. Oh, okay, here it is. Oh, this was in 1997, so this is a few years after he died. And it just talks about stuff. I thought it would have been more recent. Okay. But yeah, like I said, that's the case of John Fairbanks. Pretty big piece of shit. And I'm not shedding a tear that this guy died. Imagine how much pain he put those families through. Granted, I know that they say that money is the root of all evil, and you should not want money, but money is something that we need to survive. Try, especially in this time period. Imagine trying to live without money. It's next to impossible. And this motherfucker just sucked it out of these families and left them for dead. So I don't feel a damn bit sorry for him. Okay, and because of the fact that, like I said, I've been sick and work and everything, I wasn't able to get this video out at a quick enough pace for all you patient viewers. I am going to reward you tomorrow with another video. Okay, let's see, what can I do? Now, these are all the ones that I recorded a long time ago on the PlayStation 3 that I mentioned a few videos ago. Where's the one that I really like? Well, there's the Mystery of Hugh and Diane Harlan. There's the Father Ronaldo Rivera and the other Father John Kerrigan. Ooh, there's the Crazy Glue Robber. Where is it? Shoot. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. The next video I'm going to release, which will be Friday night, I am going to do the case of the missing crew of the Casey Nicole. And you will be able to see that tomorrow as a special, apology to all of you. And like I said, I'm going to try to get these out at a better pace because of work now. Work season is getting back and going full force. I may be able to release these on a weekend, but I can't guarantee right away, when they're going to come out. But I'll try at a better, to get them out at a more regular basis. I will also let you know that I've been having issues once again with fucking YouTube. Hold on, let's see, go back to YouTube. YouTube has been really just fucking up, with their whatchamacallit, the copyright, even though this is fucking transformative. It's a commentary video, The assholes, John Cosgrove and whatever the other asshole's name is, they're still pulling their bullshit. So when I upload this, if I get a copyright claim again, I think I'm just going to start uploading these videos exclusively to Facebook. And I'm sure you all understand. But, let's go to OBS now. But I hope you all have had a good night. And I hope you, feel free to leave a comment in this video. Let me know what you thought about Judge John Fairbanks. And, I'm free to whatever you have to say. And until next time, take it easy, everyone. Stay safe. And, good night. Peace.